Our parents would say, if you show me your friends, I'll show you what you're going to be.
I know both sides of that. But trust me, I know both sides of that. About the sixth grade, when I was having my challenging years, I took up with a group of just guys that sat around. God rest their souls. God rest your soul, Mickey, because I love them too. But they sat around and just thought about stuff to do. They would just think about something, nothing real criminal, but
That was the play,
just
though.
thinking about
Just
stuff
like
to
football,
do.
that's the play.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah, well,
play.
that didn't work for me, brother. I couldn't keep up with that.
Wait, I did the
couldn't
same
keep
thing.
up with that.
Same thing. And I think that's a part of urban living. Now, how you like that? I went
Yes.
right in. That's a part of urban living because something is just like the tripod has three bases to hold up one at the top.
Yeah.
Something's always pulling at us. It's the drugs. It's the women. It's the winos. It's all of the different things of the urban environment of it being fast.
Okay.
And you trying to decipher, but at home, one parent, dual parent, uncles, whatever, trying to tell you, no, stay focused, put the shoulder, but everything pulling at you. Explain that, because that's hard. What's your anchor? Who was your anchor?
Wow, my anchor got to be after we moved in with my grandmother. God rest her soul. My favorite person probably in the world. I was anchored by family. Okay. She lived on Chadwick Avenue. I want to say 3 houses down. My mother's oldest brother, George Thomas, who was a Korean War veteran, hard man, fair man. He and his family lived, so he was there with my cousins. Across the street from him was my namesake. I'm his namesake, Gary Towns, and his family, children. So the anchor was the support of my family and those men, especially my Uncle Tommy, brother.
You said men.
Those men. It was a strong support system, you know, and they did the right thing. So
Because if you did the
I
wrong
did the right
thing,
thing.
because if you did the wrong thing, you got to answer.
physically to my Uncle Tommy. And that only happened once. And I won't share that with you at this time, but that only happened. Trust me, that only happened once.
So wait now, Dyfus
Was
had
the family.
no say in your household neither.
Dyfus was the family.
No. The state agency had no say-so because it was already implemented what the protocol was, and this will be the wrath if you go against it.
Yes, sir.
So my parents was older than yours.
Okay.
My parents was older than yours.
Okay.
So they all went to the same school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the one Uncle JJ hits me with this. None of us had attention deficit because they would ask you, didn't we just talk about this?
That was a favorite.
So I'm sitting here and
That
I'm
was a favorite
laughing
question.
because I don't see that no more, G.
It happens. I see it happen.
You do?
I see it happen in my family with my grandchildren. I see
you said
it
family.
happen.
You said family.
In my extended family, my
But you
wife's
said,
family.
But you said family. That's
Yes.
that's from that bark. That's from that main tree. The branches, the leaves. That's from that family tree. On an overall, because the parents are so much younger, I don't see that.
They can only share what they know. And we can only know what we've been taught. And
Give it to them.
learning family is through, oh, I'm seeing this done. This is what you do. This is what you do. Well, I don't want to grow up and do that, so I'll adjust, and I won't do that. I'll be a better father or whatever, a better sibling, whatever, a better student.
Human being.
But we learn through seeing and doing. Without those examples, the role models, either they're in your home or on your block, or in your community. And remember, we're talking We're talking
Whole nother world.
before Jim Crow. No. Let's keep it in America.
Are you going
The
further?
laws? No, I'm not going far back. I mean, the legislations, the equal rights and equal housing and right to vote. All those amendments were passed, I believe, in about 1967. 60. I was 20. I was out of school 2 years. So as I grew up, I know Jim Crow. I didn't live in the South, but each summer my grandmother, again, my maternal grandmother, would take me and some of the cousins from that block on a train to see her family, her parents, no less, my great-grandpa and grandma,
What
in
state?
Chatham, Virginia.
Oh,
Okay.
Commonwealth.
It was a beautiful time. He had a big farm. He did. They were essentially self-sufficient people, but we'll never forget the box lunch. She always made a box lunch and a shoebox, potato salad, fried chicken,
extra
pound
bread to
cake.
catch the grease.
potato salad, fried chicken, pound cake. She made the greatest pound cake. We would take the train from Penn Station. When we got to Penn Station in D.C., we would change trains and get on the colored car at the back of the train. When we got to Chatham, the train station, you see the signs. There was bathroom over here, nice bathroom, whites, and around the corner there'd be a place but we didn't even stop there. They would come and get us and take us straight away to
But you seen
to
that.
Freedom Land.
But you
Of
seen
course. We experienced that. We would go sometimes to the movie theater on Saturday to the matinee
Go
because it
upstairs.
was cheap. Sit upstairs in the balcony. My cousins were naughty guys. They would throw popcorn on the white kids downstairs, but it was never a violent kind of a thing. It was
A culture shock.
all done
though.
in
A little
fun.
culture shock.
Well, it was an education. It made me appreciate where I was and what I had, even though we had very little. But it made me very appreciative of New Jersey, Newark,
So-
and the opportunities it had given my family.
So, what does Newark mean to you? From then to now, you are blessed to being a pillow of strength that's still standing, that's still giving, that has given and received. So
My
where are
God,
you now?
Have I received? Have I ever received?
So where are you now?
I feel I'm in a position to mentor when needed. My neighbors, lots of young people have bought homes in my little block, in my little area there. I interact with them as often as possible. In fact, they come and look for me sometime. Mr. Hayes, you need this. Mr. Hayes, you need that. And we talk, and the biggest part of my joy are my two grandsons. The biggest part of my joy are my two grandsons, and the time I'm having to give back to them. I was always busy when my son was their age, always busy, either refereeing, coaching, or in the gym training so I could do the refereeing thing, because we absolutely needed extra money. Teachers didn't make enough. We needed a vocation, an advocation, and we needed for our spouse to be working as well, so we could
Sustain.
move ahead. We always want to move ahead, just as we want those who come behind us to move ahead of us, as in standing on our shoulders. And this happens through concentrated effort, even in the worst of times. The best of times, the worst of times. These times are always kind of the same, you know? They're always really kind of the same, you know? What was the saying? SSND, and we'll leave it at that. But
I
the
got
times
it.
are kind of always the same. It's us who have to adjust how we reach out for the younger
Now,
kids, the young men I
but
see
they've seen more.
coming down the street from school. Because there's a little school up the block from me now, the School of Data and Technology. They've opened up a little tiny school on the corner of Ivy and Stuyvesant.
Okay.
You know, so when I'm out there raking or being nosy or cleaning up in front of the house, I interact with the young men and women coming down the street from school. You know, we always try and show them that, yeah, you can get to be an old person too. There's an old guy here in your neighborhood who's not
Finish.
fixed in his mind or finished.
Finish.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
word I use. Finish.
Well,
You know.
you know, and I learn from them.
You know. This is something that we do, but I'm laughing because I've been very fortunate, and I know guys have been good to me, and
We thank God and the ancestors.
it's not many. The young people today, they're good kids. A lot of them are good kids, but I don't think it's a lot of us, my age now.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you have some that are, but I can see what you all went through. Whereas, if you got this many, only this much give back.
Okay.
And I'm understanding now
Okay.
how those that give back, okay, well, I'm going to fade on over and try to give this to a couple, and hopefully they can run with it. Because at some point in time, it's not fatigue as much as it is you got to pass the baton. That doesn't mean you're finished. It's just that you have to. I ran as far as I can.
You got to have somebody behind you, but you got to bring somebody behind you. You got to have somebody to take that baton, and you have to prepare them.
I got one for you. What does Black history mean to you now?
What does Black history mean to me? Black history. Black history is the world's history. It is United States history. It is world history. It is the history of our species. If I'm not, and I know I'm not mistaken about this matter, you know, our species or the human race, if you will. There's only one species of man that exists today. There have been more, but they've become extinct like Neanderthals. Okay. But this happens and can happen to us as clearly as any other species. But the history, as best I know it, goes back 300,000, 400,000 years. And how can, it is the truth of who we are. So Black history is 365 days a year. It's the history of the human race. People sometimes become uncomfortable with that, but generally that's because they lack information. Knowledge. Knowledge is power. Information is truth. Truthful information is truth. And then that gets to be a touchy subject, truth now. But there's only one truth. Truth is truth. Truth is truth. And we know it when it's on us, we all know it. You know, it's a beautiful thing, Black History Month. But we need to teach all people's history, always. The indigenous people, all of those who have suffered from erasure.